suspect search in Pembroke Pines.
It's happening everywhere now. I mean, in my own community, I don't even feel safe where I lay my head to sleep at night.
After 2 people are shot. A system spinning in the Atlantic is worth watching along the U.S. East Coast. And inflation felt by teachers who are paying to supply their own classroom.
When notebooks are on sale at Target, and I'd go buy a whole bunch of them, so I'd have them, so when a kid needed it, I just went to the stash that I bought.
These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Pamela Correa.
I'm Kelly Sanchez. Today is Wednesday, September 6, 2023.
Live from the Lee Caplin School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
Safety concerns for residents as gunshots were fired in a local community. Residents in Pembroke Pines were alarmed by the sound of gunshots in an apartment complex.
As Caplin's Nicole Swed reports, the shooting left 2 people injured and police continue to investigate the suspects.
The Pembroke Pines Police Department reported to an incident that left residents here at the Avant apartment complex in Pembroke Pines on edge after gunshots were reported. Gunfire sent officers racing to a neighborhood on Pembroke Road and Southwest 118th Avenue on Tuesday at approximately 3:16 p.m. Upon arrival, first responders discovered 2 victims. A woman was treated for a minor hand injury right there at the scene. Meanwhile, a man had been shot in the leg and was transported to the Memorial Regional Hospital in stable condition. Police said officers were searching for a suspect vehicle that was seen fleeing the area. The shooting has left Avant residents uneasy.
It's happening everywhere now. I mean, in my own community, I don't even feel safe where I lay my head to sleep at night. Nowadays, it's just nowhere safe. You just never know what's going to happen. I'm afraid to walk my dog at any time of the day because I just don't know whether or not I'm safe. And it's just been such a scary experience, especially because it's happening right here where I live.
It has been determined that this was not a random act of violence. Instead, investigators believe that the victims were specifically targeted by the suspects. Authorities continue to work diligently to uncover the circumstances behind this incident. While a description of the suspects or their vehicle has not been provided, police still assure the community that there is no immediate threat to their safety. This is Nicole Swed, Caplin News.
A South Florida man and former leader of the Proud Boys has been sentenced to 22 years in prison. This is the longest sentencing from the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. During the hearing, federal judge Timothy Kelly found Tarrio's conduct constituted as an official act of terrorism. Tarrio's defense team say they respectfully disagree with the sentencing and hinted an appeal would be filed.
When driving, it is crucial to stay focused, especially during school hours. WBBH Rachel William has more on a hit and run.
My wife was getting ready to go to work, and she was actually in the shower, and she was like, I don't have no more water.
Nathan Faddick lost power at his home on Northeast 15th Place around 9 this morning. When he ran out to see what happened, he was shocked.
So I looked over towards Jacaranda, and I noticed the traffic was building. So I walked out and looked down there, and I seen the school bus with the power pole laying on top of it.
Cape Coral police say a bus driver and 25 Mariner middle schoolers were inside. Luckily, none of them were seriously hurt.
I was hoping that there was no kids on the bus, and I seen what time it was. I thought maybe there wasn't any.
Cape Coral police say someone drove into a power line on the corner of Jacaranda and Northeast 15th Place. The attached pole also went down, landing on the bus behind the driver. Officers say the driver just kept driving.
They didn't stop, so if there's someone who comes forward later, we'll take their information and go from there with the hit and run accident report.
Officer Mercedes Phillips says Cape Coral Police, Fire, EMS, and LCEC were all at the scene to make sure everyone got out safely.
It was probably about 45 minutes just to make sure that everything was done properly and they would have a good, safe exit.
We asked Officer Mercedes if they had a description of the vehicle that caused this. All she could say is that it may have been a white van. So if you have any information, call Cape Coral Police.
To me, I don't understand why he would do something like that. You know, when there's children involved, you know, you gotta, you know, if you make a mistake, we all make mistakes. You gotta, you know, own up to it and move forward.
That was WBBH Rachel Willen reporting. Fortunately, the 25 students and driver on board had no serious injuries. Officers are still searching for the hit-and-run driver, given the limited amount of information they received.
Ukraine has upgraded their drones to combat the ongoing war against Russia that has lasted over a year. As Caplin Sofia Parales reports, these upgrades also help Ukraine gain intel on Russian units in the region.
Російську військову техніку, яка сховалась в цьому лісному масиві невеликому.
Ukraine's secret services preparing for a raid across enemy lines in a war of artillery and drones and plenty of creativity.
It looks almost like a toy.
It is Chinese toy with some upgrades and some innovations with some magic.
Enough magic that this specially made drone will travel far beyond the Zaporizhzhia front line. In search of a Russian air defense system, it flies deep into enemy territory towards a town that is one of the main objectives of the southern counteroffensive, Tokmak. At the end of the phone and watching the same screen, a HIMARS unit is ready to launch. The call sign of this drone's unit commander is Banker, a reminder of his life before the war, when this land was still Ukrainian.
Now you can see on the road, this is Russians' vehicles moving. This is checkpoint, Russians. You can see in Tokmak. Лівіше приціл наведи.
But tonight, they've been unlucky. The air defense system they wanted to hit is no longer there. Home for tonight is a field about 15 kilometers north of the front line. Using only red lights to avoid detection, they've got a bird's eye view of the battle below and what's happening beyond. For Caplin News, I am Sofia Paredes.
Tropical storm Lee is getting stronger in the Atlantic Ocean. The National Hurricane Center says Lee is approaching hurricane strength with sustained winds of 65 miles per hour. Forecasters are confident it will become a Category 3 hurricane or higher by late this week and into the weekend. South Florida is going to want to keep an eye out on this storm, especially if it tracks towards the south part of the cone. No coastal watches or warnings in effect at this time.
People around the southeast and even the Midwest are seeing pink. Flamingos are showing up in some odd places, including Kentucky and even Ohio. Some of them caught on camera near Lexington, Kentucky. The leading theory right now is the flamingos were diverted by Hurricane Idalia while traveling in the Caribbean. Scientists say many of them headed north to escape the nasty weather. Experts in Florida hope some of the birds who traveled there decide to stay.
And a teen got more than they bargained for while watching Sunday morning television. A 13-year-old was watching TV on Sunday when he noticed a bear had broken into his back patio area. The bear not only went into the patio, but he got into the minibar and helped himself to 2 White Claws. Could he open doors? Questioned the child. Thankfully, he did not stay for long. Loud barking from the family dog scared him away.
The Marlins look to make it 5 straight in their return to Lone Depot Park after sweeping the Nationals.
That's still ahead, and so is the story.
And so for teachers, that's roughly 1 to 2 paychecks every school year that they're spending on buying supplies and stepping into the gap for these students.
Teachers now having to go into their own wallets to buy supplies. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
See us dream. See us remember. See us protest.
You matter. Your feelings matter. Your identity matters. Everything about who you are matters.
See us fight back. See us rebuild. See us shatter stereotypes. See us inspire. See us united. See us now.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Back to school season is in session, but it is not only parents who have to pay for classroom supplies. Teachers across the country are spending more of their own money to fill their classrooms with necessary school supplies.
As Caplin's Valeria Morales reports, inflation is seriously impacting teachers' ability to afford classroom supplies.
First of all, let's stand up. This back-to-school season, more than 90% of teachers are spending more of their own money on classroom supplies. That's according to the National Education Association, which is the largest teacher union in the U.S. It estimates that during 2023 and 2024, teachers will spend $800 or more out of their pocket.
And so for teachers, that's roughly 1 to 2 paychecks every school year that they're spending on buying supplies and stepping into the gap for these students.
And inflation is making it harder for teachers to stretch those dollars. Most school supplies have jumped in price, with the cost of crayons, pens, and pencils up nearly 19% year over year. A separate report by Study.com found that nearly 70% of teachers cited persistent inflation as a noticeable impact on their ability to afford supplies on their own this year.
When notebooks are on sale at Target, and I'd go buy a whole bunch of them, so I'd have them, so when a kid needed it, I just went to the stash that I bought.
And it comes at a time when more teachers are quitting their jobs, citing low salaries and other concerns, which is worsening an ongoing teacher shortage in the U.S. In February 2023, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, there were nearly 150,000 more openings in public education than there were hires.
With the high cost of inflation and prices, etc., teachers are concerned. And we're seeing all across the U.S. a demand for core essential school supplies.
For Caplin News, I'm Valeria Morales.
The Marlies' win streak rolled on last night as they continue to fight for a wild card spot. After handling the Nationals with ease on the road, they had tough competition waiting for them back at home in the form of the LA Dodgers. The game looked like it was going to the wire when they were all tied up at the bottom of the 8th. However, a clutch 2-run homer from Brian De La Cruz, followed by a solo from Jazz Chisholm Jr., was enough to ice the game. The final score was Dodgers 3, Marlins 6. The Fish have one of the most difficult schedules left in the league, so every win matters. Let's hope they can pull it out once again when they rematch to the Dodgers today at 6 p.m.
Severe weather can strike anytime, anywhere, but there's a simple way to stay safe. Hey, Jim Cantore here. I stay safe in dangerous weather by planning ahead. You can stay safe too with a few easy steps. Build an inexpensive kit with supplies for your family's needs. Write down important information like phone numbers and medications. Always talk with your family, and remember any pets in your planning. Be ready, be safe. Start your plan today at ready.gov/plan.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depressing stuff. That's what white people think. You alright?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
If you're buzzed and doing this, to make yourself feel okay to drive,
ZWX.
not okay to drive.
YGKLVW. Regular you.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Kelly Sanchez.
I'm Pamela Correa. Get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.